council chamber slowly returned to order. Security teams moved through the hall. They scanned every corner, every balcony, every shadow. The three captured attackers. There, weapons were sealed in straits. Their weapons were sealed inside containment cases. Many of the alien delegates were still shaken. Some spoke quietly to their guards. Others stared across the chamber at the two human soldiers. Sergeant Marcus Hale stood perfectly still. Corporal Nadia Volkov stood beside him. Both looked calm, as if nothing unusual had happened. Supreme Mediator Calver continued watching them. The reptilian diplomat had served on the Galactic Council for more than 60 cycles. He had witnessed wars, assassinations, political betrayals. But what he had just seen was different. Those humans had defeated armed attackers with their bare hands. And they had done it faster than trained military guards. Supreme Mediator Calver slowly approached Ambassador Daniel Reyes. Again, Ambassador, yes, Mediator. I must admit something. Ambassador Daniel Reyes waited patiently. Your guards are unlike any security personnel I have ever seen. Ambassador Daniel Reyes gave a polite nod. Human training is quite demanding. Supreme Mediator. Calver looked once more at Sergeant Marcus Hale. The human soldier had not moved even a single step. Your guard broke a reinforced plasma rifle with his hands. Yes, that was impressive. Supreme Mediator Calver lowered his voice. Is that normal for humans? Ambassador Daniel Reyes gave a small smile. Not for ordinary civilians, but for trained diplomatic security, yes. Supreme Mediator Calver turned his attention to Corporal Nadia Volkov. Your other guard allowed a plasma blade to strike her arm, yet she was unharmed. Her uniform contains layered protection, very advanced material. Supreme Mediator Calver nodded slowly. The reptilian diplomat studied the humans. Carefully, there was something strange about them. They looked relaxed, composed, almost peaceful, yet moments earlier, it moved with terrifying speed. Supreme Mediator Calver spoke again. Tell me, Ambassador, why place such dangerous individuals in diplomatic service, Ambassador? Daniel Reyes folded his hands calmly. Because diplomacy is important. Supreme Mediator Calver tilted his head, explained Ambassador. Daniel Reyes looked toward the chamber window. Beyond the glass wall, the stars stretched across the darkness of space. Humanity learned many lessons in its early history. Some of those lessons were painful. Wars, conflicts, civil struggles. But eventually humanity understood something important. Peace must be protected. Supreme Mediator Calver listened carefully. Diplomacy cannot succeed if leaders fear for their lives. Ambassador Daniel Reyes continued. So we created a special program. Human diplomatic security soldiers trained not only to fight, but also to protect peace. Supreme Mediator Calver crossed his arms, yet they carry no weapons, correct? That still confuses me. Ambassador Daniel Reyes nodded. Most species believe strength comes from weapons. Humans once believed that as well. But weapons create temptation. When weapons are present, they are often used. Supreme Mediator Calver considered this statement. So humans removed weapons from their guards? Yes, our guards train their bodies. Instead, speed, strength, control, discipline. Supreme Mediator Calver looked again at the silent humans. They looked ordinary, yet they had defeated 3 trained assassins. The reptilian diplomat finally spoke again. I understand now. Ambassador Daniel Reyes smiled slightly. Yes, you bring unarmed guards to show peaceful intent. Correct, Supreme Mediator Calver slowly nodded. But you also bring guards who are extremely dangerous. Ambassador Daniel Reyes did not deny it. Peace must always be protected. At that moment, the chamber doors opened again. A tall insectoid delegate entered. This was Chancellor Varix of the Korath Empire. He had arrived late to the council meeting. The insectoid leader looked around the chamber. Why is security everywhere, Supreme Mediator Calver answered calmly. There was an assassination attempt. Chancellor Varix froze. His compound eyes widened. What? The attackers were neutralized quickly. Who stopped them? Supreme Mediator Calver pointed toward the humans. Those two. Chancellor Varric stared in disbelief. Those unarmed bipeds. Ambassador. Daniel Reyes nodded politely. Yes. Chancellor Varric slowly approached. Sergeant Marcus Hale. The insectoid leader studied him closely. You carry no weapon, correct? Sergeant Marcus Hale answered in a calm voice. And yet you defeated armed assassins. Yes, Chancellor. Varric turned toward Corporal Nada Volkov. Your species is full of surprises. Corporal Nada Volkov remained silent. She simply watched the chamber.alert.com. Ready, Chancellor. Varric spoke again. How long does it take to train such guards? Ambassador Daniel Reyes answered. Many years. First they serve in human military forces. Then they enter diplomatic security training. Supreme Mediator Calver added. They are extremely effective. Chancellor Varric nodded slowly. The insectoid leader looked impressed. I will remember this. Ambassador Daniel Reyes smiled. Many species do. Over the next few hours, the council meeting finally resumed. Trade agreements were discussed. Territory negotiations continued, but something had changed. Many delegates now watched the humans with new respect. Some even looked nervous. The quiet human guards had proven something important. They were not weak. They were not naive. They were something else entirely. Later that evening, a message spread across the Galactic Communication Network. An assassination attempt at the Galactic Council had failed. The attackers had been stopped by human diplomatic guards. The story traveled quickly, from one star system to another, from one civilization to the next. Soon, millions of beings heard the same message. Human guards had no weapons, yet they had defeated trained assassins in seconds. Some species did not believe the story. Others demanded proof, but security recordings confirmed everything. The footage showed the entire battle. 8 seconds. 3 attackers defeated. Not a single human weapon used. The footage spread across the galaxy. Military analysts studied it carefully. Strategists replayed the recording. Many times they slowed it down. Frame by frame, the results surprised them. Human movement speed was extraordinary. Their reaction time was even faster. Their strength exceeded most known species. The conclusion was simple. Humans were far more dangerous than they appeared. Back on Earth, the diplomatic security headquarters received many messages. Some were congratulations. Some were requests for training exchanges. Some were warnings. Human commanders reviewed the escalation carefully. Director Helen Carter of the Diplomatic Security Command watched the footage herself. She nodded with satisfaction. Sergeant Marcus Hale performed perfectly. Corporal Nadia Volkov also performed perfectly. Their actions protected the council. Their actions protected human reputation. Director Helen Carter sent a message to Ambassador Daniel Reyes. Good work. The council is now aware of human capabilities. Ambassador Daniel Reyes replied shortly after, Understood, Director. Director Helen Carter leaned back in her chair. She looked out the window of the command center. Earth rotated slowly beneath the orbital station. Humanity had joined the galactic community. Only a few years earlier, many species had underestimated them. That mistake was now corrected. Meanwhile, on the Galactic Council station, Supreme Mediator Calver stood beside the observation window. He watched distant stars silently. Ambassador Daniel Reyes joined him. A beautiful view. Supreme Mediator Calver nodded. Your species is fascinating, Ambassador Daniel Reyes smiled slightly. We hear that often. Supreme Mediator Calver spoke thoughtfully. You appear peaceful, yet you are clearly capable of violence, Ambassador. Daniel Reyes answered calmly. Humans prefer peace, but we never ignore danger. Supreme Mediator. Calver nodded slowly. Wise, the reptilian diplomat turned to face the ambassador. I believe the council will treat humanity differently from now on. Ambassador. Daniel Reyes gave a small nod. That is acceptable. Supreme Mediator Calver looked once more toward the chamber where the guard stood. Sergeant Marcus Hale and Corporal Nadia Volkov still watched the room. Silent, alert, disciplined, Supreme Mediator Calver finally understood the truth. Human guards carried no weapons, not because they lacked strength, not because they trusted others, but because their bodies were already weapons, and the galaxy had just witnessed that truth for the first time. From that day forward, whenever human diplomats arrived at galactic negotiations, two silent figures usually stood behind them, unarmed at calm, watching. Everything and every species in the chamber remembered the same story. 8 seconds. 3 assassins defeated. No weapons used. The humans had come to the stars seeking peace. But the galaxy now understood something very important. Human peace was protected by discipline. Human patience was protected by strength, and human diplomacy was guarded by warriors who needed no weapons.